guys, today I'm going to be doing the Your Life in Books tag. I was tagged by Kimberly's Book Nook to do this about a month ago, so if you're watching this, Kim, thank you very much for tagging me. I really appreciate it, and I apologize that I did not get this up sooner, but I'm still really excited to do it and answer the questions. Okay, so I am just going to jump right in with the first question, which is find a book for each of your initials of your name. So my first and my last name both start with a K, so for those I chose the same book because I only had one that actually started with a K, and that is Kate Middleton, Princess in Waiting, which I just picked up a couple of months ago, and it's basically just all about Kate Middleton and her life. So I haven't read it yet, but I'm really excited to read this one day because I think the royal family is fascinating. And then my middle name is Paige and starts with a P, so for that I chose Peaches by Jodi Lynn Anderson, which I really love. I haven't read this in a couple of years, but it's a really good book if you have never read it. It's a really cute kind of summery, fun read. So that is for KPK. The next question is count your age along your bookshelf and which book are you left with. So I'm currently 19 years old, so I started on the top shelf, which you cannot see, and I counted to 19, and I came across Tall Cool One by Zoe Dean, which is one of the A-list novels, and my bookshelf is not exactly like set how it's going to be permanently, but for now, this is what I came up with, and I love this series for teen books. If you've never read them, they're just really fun, kind of easy reads. So that is what I came with for 19. Okay, the next question is pick a book that is set in your city, state, or country. And I knew that there wasn't going to be any in my city, and I couldn't find any for my state, which is Virginia. I looked, and I just could not find a book set in Virginia, so I decided to just pick one in the United States, and I went with the Blue Bloods novel by Melissa De La Cruz. I really like these books. They're set in New York City or Manhattan, which is a really good location for a book, so I just picked those to find something interesting off the shelf. But I think most of my books in general are all set in the United States with the exception of a couple. The next question is pick a book with a destination that you would like to travel to, and for this one I could have chosen quite a few, but I decided to go with Hollywood Hills by Amy Friedman because this one is set in Los Angeles or California, and I've always wanted to visit there, and I hope to go to California one year. I maybe will make it to VidCon in a couple of years, who knows, but I would love to visit California, and that's kind of on the top of my destination list, so I chose this book. Pick a book that is your favorite color. So my favorite color is purple. It always has been, and it's just kind of stuck with me. So I chose another A-list book by Zoe Dean, and this one is Heart of Glass because it had a purple cover. So that is what I chose for my favorite color. The next one is which book do you have the fondest memories of? And I picked two for this because I know you guys are going to expect the first, which is Harry Potter. If you've been watching me, you know I'm obsessed with Harry Potter. I absolutely love it. It is hands down my favorite series ever, and I have the fondest memories of Harry Potter because I read them when I was really little. I think I read the first Harry Potter book, or my first Harry Potter book, in 3rd grade after I watched the first movie, and I loved them so much that they are just probably the reason I am a reader today and that I love reading so much. So I had to pick this, but I wanted to do something a little bit more interesting as well and choose another. So another book that I'm really fond of, that I really love, I read in 5th grade, and this was probably one of the first kind of young adult teen type of books I ever read, and that is the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants series by Anne Brash Harris. This is actually the second one because I don't actually have the first one, which is very odd, but I love these books and I used to be obsessed with them, and me and one of my best friends back in 5th grade used to pretend like we were some of the characters and all of that. So I was Bridget because I played soccer, and Bridget plays soccer, and she used to call me B, and all of this stuff. So I have really fond memories of these books because I really love them. What book did you have the most difficulty reading? So I picked a recent kind of fail read for me, which I've already talked about before, but that is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. I bought this back in June, and I tried to read it, and I just could not get through it, which I talked about in my July wrap-up. I think made it to around page 50-ish, and I just couldn't get into it. I wasn't enjoying it, so I just kind of put it aside, but I really want to read this. I read all of this great reviews of this all the time. It's a New York Times bestseller on the YA kind of young adult section, and everybody seems to love it, and I just cannot get into it. So I hope to reread it one day and get through it, but for now it's just going to hang out on the shelf for a little while longer. And the last question is name a book on your TBR list that you would be the most satisfied once finishing or the most accomplished. So I have one that I actually have, and then I have a series that I would like to read that I don't have yet. So the one that I actually have that I would feel the most accomplished for finally finishing would be the Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins. I have not read these yet. I read about half of the first one last year, and I just never made it through it before watching the movie, which I hate and I know is the worst thing ever, but I just haven't made it through these, and I would really like to read them all and to go back fresh and start over, especially before the second movie comes out this year. So I'm planning on doing that very soon, so I would feel very accomplished with these. And then the next one I don't actually have, but I would like to read all of the Cassandra Clare books, so I'm hoping for my next books to actually read the City of Bones and the Moral Instrument series, and then the Infernal Devices. So that is on my list. I'm actually going to try and read that either at the end of this month or next month. I just haven't purchased the books yet, so once I do that, I will start those off. That is all for the Your Life in Books tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this and that you're doing very well. Thank you again, Kim, for tagging me. If you watch this, and if you have not filmed this tag video yet and you make videos, feel free to do so and leave it as a video response, because I would love to watch, and I'm just going to tag everyone to do it. So that is all for today, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye, guys.